Hello everybody, welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. That is right, Sandro Tonali has been banned for 10 months for illegal betting, which is just not what Newcastle United want at all. First things first, look, you saw in the video on Saturday that Lee did, Sandro Tonali was so emotional, and I think it was almost like a relief off his shoulders in a way that it's now all over and done with. He knows his punishment. He knows it's going to be 10 months. He knows that he isn't going to play another game until August of next year, which by the sound of it, he'll probably miss the first 2 Premier League games of next season at the very most, depending on when the season starts. So, look, in terms of that side of things, it's a hammer blow for Eddie Howe and his side. The only thing I would say is that I'm kind of looking at it as more that he's done an ACL injury. I know he obviously hasn't, but that's how I'm thinking right now in terms of Sandro Tonali. How much of a miss is he going to be for Newcastle? Well, a massive miss, let's be honest. It'll be a huge miss for Eddie Howe's side for Newcastle United, because he was our main man in terms of our big summer signing, in terms of we're going to spend the majority of our money on this guy. And now we can't use him from now till the end of the season, essentially, not until the beginning of next season. Look, it's a huge blow. It's a hammer blow. And you could tell from how Eddie Howe was talking about last season, Sandro Tonali and the midfielder we needed was somebody like him. And I think there was little sparks that we saw in some games, like in the Aston Villa game. He was absolutely superb, I thought, against Paris Saint-Germain. I thought he was excellent as well. It's going to be absolutely incredible, really, to see how we can cope without him in a way, because we have a Sean Longstaff, we have a Bruno Guimaraes. Do we have another Sandro Tonali type of player? That remains to be seen. But what we will see is Joe Willock coming back, and I think that's huge, because Joe Willock is very, very close to returning, and as one midfielder departs for a long spell, Joe Willock comes back in, and I think that's massive. I really, really do. I think that's actually really, really important for Newcastle United. However, it is a miss. What will Newcastle do going forward? I think a Calvin Phillips on loan from January to the end of the season shouldn't be looked at negatively. I really don't. I think someone there to prove a point, wants to play at the top end of the table, which Newcastle currently are as well. It's just whether or not Man City would let him go to Newcastle. I think that's probably one of the biggest concerns in regards to that transfer, but you never know. But I think the last 2 things I really want to talk about is the fact that Tino Livermento's not really playing. He has shown glimpses and he was fantastic against Man City in the Cup. Liverpool hasn't barely kicked a ball. Harvey Barnes has got injured. And Sandro Tonali were kind of like the main 4 summer signings this season. And now we've not really been able to use any of them anymore, which is mental considering it's October. Now I know Harvey Barnes will return from injury, and if anything happens to Trippier or Burn, you've got Livermento and Hall there to deputise. But at this moment in time, you're not dropping Trippier and you're not dropping Dan Burn. So look, it's going to be really fascinating to see what happens going forward. But the last thing on Sandro Tonali, that mentally, all the fans were there for him, myself included. You know, standing and chanting his song, and he will have the support of Newcastle United. He really will, and he'll have a point to prove. But that's a good thing. I think that's a real positive thing as well going forward. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for him. It's going to be tough for Newcastle. But if both can overcome it, then I think that's almost worth the money you paid in terms of the signing, because of everything that's going on. How much did AC Milan know? That remains to be seen. Will Newcastle get any compensation? Let us know in the comments below. But yeah, breaking news, Sandro Tonali, 10 months out of action for Newcastle United. How much of a bitter blow is that? Let us know in the comments below. But it's a massive week in terms of Newcastle United. Once again, excuse me, just a little matter of Borussia Dortmund at home on Wednesday evening, and then Wolverhampton Wanderers at the weekend. It just does not stop for Newcastle United. But yeah, that is a recap of the breaking news. Sandro Tonali banned for 10 months for illegal betting. Like and subscribe to Newcastle Fans TV, and we'll see you all very soon.